Hi, it's Tina here, and I just want to show you how you can access the automated webinar funnel that I have shared with you. So when you click on the link that I've given you to share the funnel, you will be taken to this particular page here. Tina Sibley has shared this funnel with you, and it shows you here what's in the funnel. So we've got an auto webinar registration form, a thank you page or a webinar countdown page, the webinar broadcast room, and the replay room. Now, if you've already got a ClickFunnels account, it's nice and simple. You just click on this add this funnel button and it will automatically get added to your account. If you're not a ClickFunnels member yet, then don't worry, you can get a free 14-day trial. So you just put in your email address and password here and create an account, and you'll get 14 days free trial. Now, at the end of the 14 days, you have a couple of options available to you. You can either join up for a standard ClickFunnels account, which is $97 a month, or if you just literally want the funnel that I've shared with you, you can actually keep that for $19 a month. So you get kind of limited access, but you will get everything inside of the funnel that I've just shared with you for only $19 a month. So that's a real super cost-effective way of putting your webinar together. Now, ordinarily, you would need to buy some form of webinar software, integrate it with autoresponder and all sorts of manner of things. But by sharing this funnel with you, if you like the way that it works, at the end of 14 days, you get to keep it and use it for only $19 a month. And I think when you compare that with some of the webinar softwares that are out there, that's really great value. So if you're already a ClickFunnels member, no problem, just click add this funnel. If you are not a ClickFunnels member, put your email address and password and then click create your account now. So I'm a ClickFunnels member already, so I'm just going to click add this funnel and I will show you what happens when you add the funnel. And the same will happen when you create your account. So as you see, it says here, shared funnels being processed. And this normally doesn't take long. It usually happens very quickly. As you can see, boom, there, it just happened. And it says complete view funnel. So all I have to do is click on that and you will be taken to the funnel within the ClickFunnels account. And there you can see there's 4 steps. I'm actually going to add another step, which is going to be Tina's super instructions. So you will actually see another step where you can easily access these instructions at any time. All right, so there's a few things that you need to have a look at. Now, if you're already a ClickFunnels member, then there shouldn't be any problem at all. So when you come over to settings, there's a few things that we need to set up here. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is give your funnel a name. So it's going to be your XYZ webinar, auto webinar funnel. And you might want a couple of different webinars. So it's a good idea to name it. And you might want to put it under a particular group tag. So it automatically comes up under shared funnels. You might want to add or change it to webinar funnels, or you can have whatever tag you want to. Now the other thing is, if you've already got a ClickFunnels account, you've probably already set up your own domain. I've got a few domains, so I'm just going to use my tinasibley.com domain. And the reason for this is because, you can actually, a lot of people do, you can use just the ClickFunnels domain, in which case it will come up tinasibley.clickfunnels.com and then the path of the funnel. So it's going to be automated webinar funnel, so you might call it awesome webinar. Obviously going to give it a name. Okay, that's really important because this is going to affect the link that you give to people. Now, if you don't yet have a ClickFunnels account, then you do need to set up your domain name with your ClickFunnels account, and you don't want that to be the same as your website because you don't want to mess with your current website. unless, like I did, I've built my entire website on ClickFunnels, so I'm using the same domain name. But you can set up a separate domain name which is going to be relevant to you, and it doesn't have ClickFunnels in the title. But you know, there's loads of tech support that you can get from ClickFunnels on how to do this. And in fact, I've got a little video that I can share with you as well. But honestly, this is not that difficult to do. It's just a question of following the steps. And ClickFunnels support are awesome, and they will help you this. The other thing is you've got a choice on how you send out your emails. Now, emails before the webinar, because the webinar time is going to be, you know, different depending on when they sign up. It makes sense for it to come from ClickFunnels rather than from your own domain name. And that means you're going to need to set up SMTP configuration. And all that means is it's a bit like the postman. So all the letters, so all the emails, yeah, are already here for you to send. You're just going to, you know, edit them to make them relevant to your webinar. And it's a bit like all you have to do is you've got the printed, if you can imagine a printed letter, all you've got to do is put to and from at the bottom and then put it in an envelope. But that envelope needs to then get put through the post system. You know, so Send 13 or SendGrid, which is what a lot of people use, is their equivalent, the online equivalent of the postman. Okay. Once again, you can go to support at ClickFunnels to get help on setting that up. It's just a step-by-step process that they will be able to help you with. Another thing that you need to do here is add your own image here. So if you've got like your own logo or anything like that, then get the URL, okay, and put it in there. All right, because at the moment that is mine, and I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. If you're doing Facebook advertising, then you want to put your Facebook pixel in here, and that's pretty much it for all the settings. Okay, so just to recap, give it a name, give your funnel a name. You can tag it if you want to, that you don't have to, or you can just leave it on shared funnels. If you've already got a ClickFunnels account and it's set up with your domain, select your domain, select the, you know, path that's going to be like tinasibley.com/awesome webinar. And then if you've already got your ClickFunnels set up with your SMTP, no problem. If you're new, then that is a step that you need to do so that you can send the emails out. Okay, and then you scroll all the way down to the bottom, ignore all this gubbins, yeah, scroll all the way down to the bottom and click Save and Update Settings. Okay, now you can see up here it's changed its name, XYZ Auto Webinar Funnel. All right, so the first one is the registration. And now I'm going to edit the page. Again, later on, once you get savvy with this, you can do split tests on your registration page, but we're going to leave that for now. Let's keep things nice and simple. So I've set all this page up for you to make life nice and super easy. So all you've got to do is take my stuff out and put your stuff in. So you're going to click on Edit Page. And I like to open this in a new tab. So I right click on it and open it in a new tab. So I can go back and forth my funnel steps nice and easy. All right, so let's have a look at the editing of this page then. You've got, everything is in like sections, all right? So the first thing is you might want to change the color of the background in your header. So you just, okay, all the kind of big sections, if you like, have got green things. And then you've got blue sections, which then have a load of other orange ones inside. Okay, it's just the levels. So if I click on settings up here, so I'm looking for the green section, and then I click the little gear icon, and then I can scroll down and I can change the background color. So let's say I want to change that to dark blue, so I just click that there. And then I might want to change, at the moment my purple background is still showing on the free webinar. So again, I come down to the blue and click on the icon. And I might want that to stand out, so I might want it a separate color, in which case, I don't know, I could make it red or something like that. Or if I want it the same color so that it blends in, I just click the blue again and voila, it blends in. Okay? So that's how we change the color there. Now, if I want to change the text, I just click on the writing, and as soon as I click on it, the text editor opens up. And I just change the text, nice and simple. Free webinar for, oh, and I'm on bold at the moment, so I can take the bold off. For everyone interested. So I might kind of want to say coaches, consultants, or anyone wanting to lose weight, or ladies or men or whoever. I can literally make these headings whatever I want them to be. And you'll see that there's different colors here. Okay, so again, if I want to change the text colors, I click on, now I want the orange one. This is like what we call an element, and I can click on the orange icon. And I can change the text color itself. So let's say if I wanted that black, and then I can change the bold color. So let's say I wanted that yellow. Yeah, so I can mess with those. I can change all sorts of things here as well. So, oops, let's go back. So I can change the font size. Yeah, just slide that up or down until it's the size I want it. I can change the font family. I can increase the distance between it and the top of the page and create a little bit more white space. Now I prefer to have as little space at the top as possible because I want people to see as much as possible above the fold when they're on the page. What else can I change here? I can make it smaller for mobiles. And that's pretty much all I want to mess with in the pre-headline. Okay. Exactly the same thing here. I click in there and I can change the text. How to do XYZ without ABC. Yeah. And it, once again, exactly the same as before. If I want to edit any of the settings on that, I just click on the orange icon. And then I might want to make the font bigger or smaller. I might want to change the text color or the bold color. And exactly the same as before. Okay, so I can make all of those changes, and the same again for this line of text here. I can make that bigger, smaller, change the colors and all sorts. Okay, so that's the headline section. So then we have the details of the hosts. Okay, so you've got 3 sections here to play with. So you want to probably put yourself in the middle. You might want to put your logo on the left and then any co-presenter, or you can put other information on the right. If you want to delete any of these, so let's say you just want your own details smack in the middle, all you do is you highlight the orange and then click delete. So let's say, for example, I want to delete this one here. I just click on delete and it will check, and then you just say, yeah, that's it, that's fine. And then don't worry about that, they won't see that when we go to the page. Okay, now if I want to edit any of these, all I do is just click on the area I want to edit. So let's say I want to change the picture here. So I can change the settings again by clicking on the orange and then the icon. If I want to change the image, I click on this little box up here and then I go and find an appropriate image. Now, if you want a nice neat round circle, you've got to make sure that you use a square picture. And what this is going to do, this has just gone straight into my ClickFunnels library. So if you're already a ClickFunnels user, you just go through and find the image that you want to use. Or you might want to upload, in which case just click on the upload button. Select an image, and that will load up into your ClickFunnels library. There you go, there it is. And then you just click on that and click on add image. Okay, cool. And there it is, there's the picture. Now, I might decide that, hang on a minute, I've got a nice little, bit of writing on my image, so it doesn't make sense to put it in a circle. So if I want to change that, I just come over to advanced. And where it says image radius, at the moment it's on circle. So I can change it to none. And you'll see the entire picture comes up. I might decide I want to play with it a little bit and soften the corners, make the corners a bit rounded. So that's quite nice. Again, I can change the size of my little headline there. I can change the size of the text. And if I want to edit the actual text, I just click out of the settings and literally, again, just click on it. Well, I'm not going to change it from there, but that's how you do it. All right, and I did exactly the same here. So again, if you want to change this, you just upload your logo, change whatever you want to say about it, and that's that. Okay, now if you do decide you want to get rid of this, you can, if you want to, shrink that element down, and you can have a bigger element in the middle. So you can really mess with it, and obviously the larger the element in the middle, the larger the photograph and the more space you've got there as well. So you can kind of, mess around with this. Now obviously, as you see, I've made this smaller, so the logo has gone smaller. All right, but you can mess around with that to your heart's content to get it looking as you want it to look. Okay. You might just want it nice and uniform, in which case just don't mess with it, leave it as it is. So that's that section. Now the next section is, obviously you've got your headline here, what you will learn on this free webinar, and exactly the same as we've done before. If you want to change it, you just click on it and change the text, and you can make it bold or not. Anything that you make bold, you can have different colors. Okay, so you can't change like just the color on its own, but if you make it bold, then you can have a different color for whatever is bold. And again, to do that, you just click on the orange cog, and then you can make your bold a different color. Okay. Again, in this section, you can change your background if you want to. So I could do that. I think it looks better actually, either grey or, well, I often use light purple because that's one of my brand colours, but you can use grey or you can use white. White is nice and clean, okay, but you have a license to play with this so that you can match your own personal branding, okay. And then once again, you've got the things that they're going to learn. You just edit these in exactly the same way I've already shown you. Now, this is obviously important. Register my spot now. So you might want to change the background of the button. it's always a good idea to have the button colors different from any other colors. I mean, blue is a common button color, so I've just chosen my blue branding there. But you can, like, for example, you might want to make this green, in which case you just click on it. And if you want to get more colors, you just use the slider over here. Okay, so I could make it a nice dark green. Yeah, so there's lots of different ways that you can do with that. And if you want to change what's written on the button, you just slide up to the top here, register my spot now. You just click it in there, register my seat, my webinar seat. Okay, and you can change cases here. Some places you are stuck with what they give you. All right, so that's where you can change that. You don't want to mess with the action, because on this particular button you want it to just open up the pop-up so that they fill in their details. All right, so that's pretty much everything that you need to cover on the registration page, apart from if you try and save this now and exit, you're going to be reminded that you need to do your integration. So if I was to try to save this, okay, change the default SEO page title. Okay, so there's a few things that you need to do here. And this is the social sharing. So for example, if you're going to share the link on Facebook, it's the picture and the words that pop up, and of course it's the SEO as well. So you need to obviously put in here the title. So you can put my special webinar, and you can see as well that it changes when it comes into the tab at the top. Put your page description, how you want it to appear. Learn how to, yeah, and put your keywords in, put your name in, and put your social sharing image. Now, I purposely didn't put these because you don't want to be sharing your webinar with my details. Okay, so I've purposely on the shared funnel left it blank so that you're forced into doing it. And you'll see this is what it's going to look like, yeah, when you share that on your Facebook or wherever. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so that is it. Now, like I said, you've got a couple of choices. You either send all your emails from within ClickFunnels, in which case you have to set up your SMTP, or if you want to, you can integrate this with your existing autoresponder. Okay, and you would do that here. Okay, that is pretty easy to do. I'm not going to do that right now because obviously I don't want to set this up with mine, but it's very super simple. And again, there's loads of support training videos on how to show you how to do that. And if you need help, just reach out and I'll put you in the right direction. But essentially, you just set it up and then you use it. If you've already got a ClickFunnels account, you've probably already done this. But again, if you're going to use the internal ClickFunnels emails, you don't need to do that. All right, so I make sure that's saved. Always make sure you save. There's no auto save, so save your work before you leave, and then I can exit that page. Now, one more thing I need to do here is, as far as the registration page goes, is set up my automation. So I just click on this automation tab here. And there's a whole bunch of emails in here. And this is why it's useful to do it within the ClickFunnels and to do what you need to do to set up the SMTP, because it's all here for you. Okay, so everyone is going to get the confirmation email saying, hey, you're registered, and they're going to get that immediately. They're going to get the webinar is starting now. Okay, and you can set the timer on this. At the moment, it's an hour before. If you're going to be offering times for the webinar, which is going to be say in the future, or if it's, you can actually set it a day before. Obviously, if it's an auto webinar, pretty much people are going to choose the first one that's available to them. So you can do that here, and basically you edit all of these emails. Okay, so let's edit this one. Webinar starting now, and it automatically fills in the title. It's going from my SMTP account. It's going to go to everybody who registers, yeah? And I can edit the details here, okay? Nice and simple. And then once I've made any changes, I just click on update email. Okay, so other emails that are going to get sent are to, so this is to everybody. This one only goes to the people who missed the webinar. Okay, so ClickFunnels will pick up who actually went to the broadcast room and who didn't. So if somebody didn't, then ClickFunnels will pick it up. So you can send out the, hey, did you miss the webinar? And instead of saying, yeah, yesterday's webinar, you might want to change this and just say, did you miss the webinar? And you've got all the conditions here, and you've got the title, and again you can just go in and edit this nice and simple, straightforward. Okay, so that's that one. So just go through these emails, just make sure that they're going when you want them to go. Make sure the subject line is how you want it. Make sure that it goes from your name. And then you can send out different emails. So for example, you can send out a different email, did they leave the webinar early? Did they stay to the end and they missed, did they see the special offer? You can add emails, so you can add a new email which you can send only to those who purchase, and all sorts of different things in here. So it's all pretty neat, really. So that's the automation. So that's it for the registration. Next thing you want to do is click on the webinar countdown page, which is your thank you page essentially. And again, to edit it, you just click on edit. And you're pretty much going to edit it exactly the same way as I've already shown you on the previous page. And you're going to edit this in exactly the same way as I showed you on the previous page. So you've got different segments where you can change the settings and change the colors and all sorts of things. You can change the information that you put in here. You can change what you want to say about the social sharing. This countdown clock will populate automatically to when they've signed up for the webinar. And you've got a little video in here. This is, okay, let's go through this because this is what's different to the last page. So with this one, there is actually a video on there already. Now, let me just go back to the main funnel. You can see any of these pages and preview them just by clicking on this arrow here, and that'll take you directly to the page. So if you want to see the registration page, you just click on that, and this is what it's going to look like. Yeah, now obviously we've messed around with it, and there's a pop-up which automatically comes up getting them to fill their name and actually sign up for the webinar. Okay, so that will pop up if they click on this button, or it'll pop up if they go and exit. This is the countdown page. So again, I just click this little arrow, and this is what the countdown page looks like. Now, there is a video already in there, which you can use. Okay, it's perfectly, adequate video, so you can leave it as it is. It's a minute and
Your
a half
seat has
long.
now been reserved. Now, before we go on, I want to give you a few quick steps to make sure you get the most from your webinar. First, we recommend that you click on the print button on this page so you can print out your webinar ticket along with the date.
Okay, you get the idea. Now, you might want to put your own video in there. So if you want to change that video and put your own video in there, what you do is you click on the little orange cog again. And you get the video settings. So let's say I want to put a video in. Let me just go to YouTube. And there's a couple of ways of doing this. You can either use custom embed and then put in the iframe code, or you can just click on YouTube and put the URL in, and then you've got a choice on autoplay and controls and all of that kind of stuff, or Vimeo, Wistia, Easy Video Suite, or just HTML5 video. Okay, so you've got a choice on how you do this. If you want to use the embed code, you've got to make sure that you set it up right first. So what you do is click on share, find the video you want, share, click on embed, but always scroll down, to the options. No, we do not want to show suggested videos when the video finishes, so make sure you uncheck that box. You really want it to mimic, although I never ever recommend that you claim it's live when it's not, you still want it to be a webinar experience rather than a video experience. So turn the player controls off, turn off the video title, so uncheck all of that lot, copy it to your clipboard, and then you just delete the iframe code that's already in there and paste in the code that you just took. All right, and that's it. So again, you can change any of this in exactly the same ways as I've taught you already. So once you've done all that, remember the next thing that you still need to do with all of this, although it's unlikely, to be honest, that people, you're not going to share this in the same way as you're going to share the registration page, but it's still a good idea to come in here and put webinar confirmation in the metadata. Now, you can leave this out because you don't really want the SEO for the thank you page, but it's still a good idea to put your name in there, so that it's all, tying up. If you don't do that, it's going to look really odd. Okay, so save all that. And now when we refresh, you'll see that the video has changed. Actually, this is the thank you page, so you could have left the player controls on if you'd wanted to.
Hi, I'm Tina Sibley, and I want to talk to you.
There you go. So you can see the videos on there. So the next thing to change is the webinar broadcast room itself. So we just click on the webinar broadcast room, click on edit page. And again, you change any of the areas here the same way I've shown you before. Again, we are going to want to put the webinar video in there. Last time I showed you how to do the iframe code. This time I'm going to use the URL. So I'm just going to copy the URL for the video. I'm going to get rid of what's already in there. And this time I really do suggest you use the URL rather than the embed code, because I want it to mimic a webinar rather than a video, like I said. So this time I'm going to put autoplay on, so that when the countdown clock goes to 0, this is automatically going to start playing. I'm going to turn the controls off. I'm actually going to leave the branding off. And of course, the next thing I want to do is make sure that my offer button is set up. At the moment, it says warning, button action not set. Okay, so I'm going to say, you know, join the program before it closes, or, you know, get by midnight tonight. Whatever it is, again, you just edit that in the same way I've already shown you. Now, the button, you just click on here and you click on settings. And set action. Okay, and at the moment it's already set to go to website URL, so you need to put that in there. So you need to go and find your sales page and use Control and V when you're pasting in to make it make sure it saves. And I always like to have this, you can have it open in the same window or open it. You don't want people clicking on the webinar, okay? Clicking on the sales button and then exiting your webinar. You really want to make sure that this is set to open in a new tab or window. All right, so that's that one. And again, that's pretty much all you need to do on this page. It's super simple. So as you can see, everything's pretty much been done for you. Again, set your SEO metadata. You don't want the SEO on the webinar page because you don't want people finding the page unless they've registered, but you still want to put the title in and you want to put your author in there as well. So make sure you've done that at the very least, so that it's just not on default. And save. And we're almost there. Finally, we just got the replay. And this is nice and simple, because this is meant to look like a pretty ugly replay page. It's not meant to look like your webinar page. So you literally just click on edit page. And if I want to change the color, I change the color here. Once again, change the video. So I can, and you can do either here. You can set the controls or not. I'm still going to mimic the webinar, so I'm going to put in the YouTube URL from last time. I'm going to turn autoplay on, and I'm going to put controls off and branding off. There you go. And once again, you want to set your offer. If you want to change the text, you just do that in here. And that's where you put your subtext in as well. So let's go get the sales page. Click on set action. Paste it in there. Change that to open in a new tab. There we go, and then back. And do the SEO metadata again. So you don't want it saying ClickFunnels landing page. You want it saying webinar replay. There you go. And save. And then boom, you're done. That's it. Nice and simple. The only thing that you need to do is, if you're new to ClickFunnels, is set up your domain name and your SMTP, and you have a working, fully loaded webinar, a nice automated webinar that is going to set up and run. So if you want to check what any of these pages look like, you just come back to your main funnel, and let's say I want to see the broadcast room. I just choose that one, and then I click on that little arrow. I'm going to get to see what that page looks like. There you go. That's what the webinar is going to look like. All right, that's it. So that is everything that you need to do in your webinar funnel. So I'm just going to come out of there and show you and remind you what it is you need to do. Okay, so you've got the 4 pages that you need to edit. Now the other thing is, you check the pages, you know, use this little arrow page to see what each one looks like. So you can see here now I've opened up all 4 pages, and they're all correct with the correct meta tags at the top, and they've all the changes have been saved. So that is it. That is how you set up your webinar funnel, and then you can go and unleash it on the rest of the world. So obviously, if you need any extra help, if you need any, I've got loads of training courses. People work with me on a one-to-one basis, so I can coach you through how to put the presentation together, maybe iron out some of the little technical things that you might be struggling with. But like I say, ClickFunnels support is absolutely awesome, and you're all good to go. So that's it. Good luck. Please do let me know how you get on.